What's up, y'all? This is Peyton, and I've been wanting to do this video for a long time now, and I'm excited to bring you all of my animal bites. So, this video is going to include animal bites that were, they were like tag bites, like the animal just tagged me. So, in this video, I will not be including puppy bites, cat scratches, or cat bites. I've had a couple of those. I remember one time my grandma Sue had a cat. Name was I forgot actually, and the cat scratched me. I've also been bitten twice by this one cat named Cosmo. Um, but I'm not really gonna be including those bites because they weren't really tags. Like, yeah, and I've had a lot of puppy bites, like play bites. So we're not counting those. But we got 13 stories of animal bites coming up. Alright, so we are going to start off with the mammal bites. And there's only one of these, and it's a zebra bite. Yes, I have been bitten by a zebra. So I was at Tabithia Wildlife Refuge in Wisconsin Dells, and I was feeding the zebra, and the zebra missed the food and got my finger. Now, I was like 7, maybe younger, so I was a whiny little kid back then. So I was like, wah, wah, wah. But remembering it now, that zebra bite was nothing. I was just, a whiny little person back then. And honestly, I don't blame the zebra. And that was a really cool experience, by the way, to feed the zebra. That was definitely a favorite moment from my childhood. And Addison, she would be jealous to hear that, and I think she does know about me being able to feed the zebra. And yeah. Now I must say, I don't usually toot my own horn, but for working with a lot of reptiles, monitors, lizards, or like other lizards, Burmese pythons, other snakes, to have only 13 rememberable incidents is not that bad. I've seen people get bit like 20 times in a matter of 5 minutes, so. But I'm also not working with colubrids every day. No offense. I hope to own colubrids in the future if this world's still around. I really want to own colubrids, but just haven't. Okay, so for the rest of the video, I have 2 snake bites, an alligator bite, and 9 lizard bites. Yes, I've been bitten by lizards a lot, I guess. So let's just dive right into these bites. We're going to talk about the snake bites first. So the first bite was when I was little, and I had a pet garter snake, and this was a wild caught specimen. My pops got it off the bike trail. And I owned it for about a month till my aunt kind of made me want to let it go. Which, honestly, I'll make a separate video about why I think we should keep animals in captivity. Because there's no wild for them to go back to. So I really wish I would have kept that snake. And one time, while I was handling the snake, I loved this snake, man. He was so docile. He was more docile than some of the ball pythons I've played with. Because he would just sit there. And one time, he actually grabbed a hold of my finger. But it was just like a little bite. It wasn't really anything bad or like that. No blood. Garter snakes, I don't even think can draw blood. Because their teeth are so small. Smaller than ball python teeth. And, yeah, I remember I was casually talking to people as the garter snake bit my finger. So that just shows you how little of pain that bite was. Now let's talk about a bite that had more pressure. This was my most recent bite from a snake. This was Noodles, the ball python that's been featured in several videos on the channel. He actually did bite me. That was my fault. A lot of these bites are my fault. That's the thing. None of these are really the animal just wanting to bite me. Except for the garter snake. I don't know what I did to cause that. No offense. But yeah, the rest of them were my fault from what I remember. And, so I was playing with the snake and I was petting him, but I was petting him the wrong way. I was petting him the way where the scales would go like back. It's hard to explain, but and then he bit my finger. He actually got 2 fingers. He got my fourth finger on my left hand and my pinky on my left hand. And it was just a quick little, hey, get the hell away from me. I'm done with you. You know, I think he really was mad at me for playing around with him. And he was in shed, so that didn't help. But I was in Wisconsin visiting, and I don't really get to play with this animal much, so I was willing to take a bite just to handle my snake that I've known since childhood. So it's worth taking a bite just to play with that wonderful animal. And after that, just got myself cleaned up and I was fine. And people were making a bigger deal about it than I was like, calm down. You know, I felt fine. You know, and after the bite, the snake just rested there until Pops took it back into the basement. That snake gave him no problems on the way to the basement, so, and to his cage. But, not much else to say about it. Oh yeah, I was, like, shocked. I was like, wow, that came out of nowhere. Because there was no signs that he was angry, really. You know, he wasn't, hissing, moving rapidly. He was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, bam, got me. Oh well, not a big deal. Okay, so I'm gonna make you guys wait for the gator bite story, because that's the best one. I think you guys are all waiting for that one. So we're gonna talk about some lizard bites. And as usual, we're gonna start from when I was little, and we're just gonna progress to the most modern lizard bite. Okay, so I've been bitten, what was it? Oh yeah, 3 times by Knowles, twice by Andy, and then 4 times by Stapleton. Yes, 4 times by Stapleton. But a lot of them, yeah, we'll get into those. Okay, so we'll start with one of the, 2 of the Knoll bites, actually. So, we just got home from the pet store, and my pops got me one of them little anoles that you find outside. Can't remember if it was a green or brown one, so don't ask me, please, because I'm going to say I don't know. So, there's your answer right there. And we were at his house before he took me to my house. And, he wanted to show me how these anoles like would hang on to you. So I let this thing bite me. And I was still young, but I was starting to toughen up with these animal bites. And I was like, as it just hung on to my finger, and it wasn't that bad. Not too bad. I don't like the feeling of anole bites, though. I must say that. I'd rather get bitten by Noodles and Stapleton again. Definitely. That's definite. But still not a bad bite. So the anole bites me, hangs on, let's go. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Okay, so the next bite was with the same anole, and this was at my house. And my pops was like, hey, put the anole on your finger again. And I was like, I don't want to do it today. And this anole bit down so hard on that day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't like this. But I didn't scream or anything. Then he let go and went back into his little cage. And people were like looking, and they were like, did it leave a mark? Did it leave a mark? And I'm like, calm down. It's okay. Or I think I did ask, did it leave a mark? But this was 7-year-old me. Present me would put an anole on my right ear, my left ear, and maybe hang one from my top lip. Not saying I like anole bites, but not saying not saying they're the worst either. So, yeah, that was my other anole bite. So the last anole bite, I had a wild-caught brown anole named Roger. I'm going to do a all my previous pets video, just to tell you guys some of these stories. And, Roger, oh yeah, I was playing with Roger. I was handling him. And stupid me decides to wave him back and forth in my hand. This dude bites, and I was like, oh gosh, he's gonna hang on. And he releases. And you know what? Shout out to Roger. I hope he's doing good. Anoles only live 1 to 6 years, so he might be dead by now. But shout out to Roger, because other than escaping into my house, he didn't really give me any problems. Like, I could actually handle him compared to that other anole I had. So he was a very decent anole, actually. And I wish I would have kept him. Part of me wishes that. Nowadays. And yeah, he was just a really great animal, and it was just a pleasure to have him. Alright, we're going to talk about some bearded dragon bites. Yes, during Andy's 17-month stay, he did bite me twice. Both bites were minor, and bearded dragons actually can inflict very severe bites. Okay, so the first bite was one of my uncles was in Florida with his ex. Not gonna get into that whole thing. And I was bringing the bearded dragon out because I was gonna let them handle him and play with him. And I was just testing out his mood because, yes, Andy did escape a few times while he was with me. Stapleton has never escaped, by the way. So we were just sitting on the floor, and I was like, okay, I think he's good. And he actually came up to me and did a little love nip. It wasn't really anything. It wasn't even like his teeth. It was like a person biting someone with their 2 lips. It really wasn't that bad. I think he put like 1 or 2 teeth on me. but it wasn't anything serious. So we're going to talk about the last Andy bite. I was handling him in his cage, and I was just petting him, just along the back. And out of nowhere, he just bit me. And this bite was a little more serious, no blood. The only bite that has drew blood for me was the snake bite, by the way. So yeah. He just bit me and released. Not much else to say about it. Okay, so I know I have 4 Stapleton bite stories, but these are going to be really quick because 3 out of the 2 out of the 4 he was in his log and I put my hand in there and one of my fingers looked like a worm, and so he bit on and then he let go. It was nothing. So those are 2 of the bite stories. Now, one of the bites was during a video I was filming, and I actually let out a bit of a shriek, but the bites didn't draw blood like I told you guys. The only bite that drew blood was a snake bite, but that's because the teeth, the way they're designed. Yeah, that's... and I did not upload those videos. And I made a loud shriek for a minor bite, that's for sure. And one time Stapleton was in his cave, and I was feeding him hornworms, and he actually missed one time, but he didn't strike at me. And I was like, oh, that was close. And he got that worm. And then the next worm, I tried to get in there. He missed the worm and bit my finger. Because I was doing slight hand feedings that day. And he missed the worm and got the finger. And I let out like a little shriek because I was also filming. And that's all for that one. Then we got one more. Actually, 2 more because I remembered another bite. Now, I don't know the order of these bites, really. So, yeah. There's no specific order to them that I remember. Oh, by the way, I think I've said this, but I'm actually filming this video because I can't sleep. So I figured I might as well film this. That's why I'm doing this right now. And I'm pretty awake. So, yeah. Okay. Alright. So, Stapleton was getting a drink of water. And I was just, like, petting him. And I actually, like, touched his mouth. And he was actually closing his mouth while, because he was finished with his water. And so my finger partially got, like, clamped. So that wasn't his fault. He was just trying to get water. And the last Stapleton bite, and then we got one more. I was holding him, and he thought my finger was a worm. Because he was in my one hand, and then my other hand was in front. Just kind of grabbed on and let go. So, nothing to note about the bite. And for the alligator bite, which you guys are probably just dying to hear. So my Aunt Shanae's ex used to own a baby alligator. And I was over there one day. He took the alligator out. I was playing with the alligator. And I was enjoying it. And this alligator was a hatchling. Okay, hatchling. Maybe a couple inches longer. But he wasn't that big. And sadly, they did not keep the alligator. They rehomed it. Which, here's the thing. Alligators are great pets if you know what you're getting into. They really are. Honestly, alligators are puppy dogs, but people don't realize it because they watch these movies like Lake Placid and Crawl, which portray these beautiful animals as monsters. But if you have a pet alligator responsibly, and if you train them, that animal is going to be like your pet dog. Trust me. There's even videos of alligators responding to their own names. So that just shows you how wonderful these animals are. But anyway, I was holding the alligator, and the alligator slowly bit onto my finger, like he slowly just bit me. And that was really it. Like, it was just like a little chomp. It wasn't anything to worry about. And 7-year-old me was like, wah, wah, wah. And I know I was, but the alligator bite was nothing. All these bites are basically nothing, but it's just, I'm telling you guys about my animal bites. You know. But, I mean, for working with Burmese pythons, boa constrictors, ball pythons, Loma pythons, another species of ball python at an expo, Cape banded monitors, leopard geckos, bearded dragons, blue-tongued skinks, crested geckos, small crocodilians like alligators. I've even had experiences with stingrays, sharks, like cat sharks, not big nurse sharks or anything. Tiger cubs, tiger cub, a tiger cub, and a few other things. To only have been bitten only have 14 main animal bites from working with all those different species ain't bad. And one time, I actually pulled out a ball python from, this was at Expo. I'll just tell a little story really quick here. Its name was, something Mama. Big Mama, I think it was. And this snake was mad at me. Hissing, striking. And I put this snake... Oh yeah, and there was also a boa constrictor on top of the cage. Which, like, ball pythons are cool, but I wish I would have played with that boa constrictor more. Because I don't get too much hands-on with boa constrictors. Which is sad. I love boa constrictors. I love ball pythons too, but boa constrictors, oh my gosh, they are so amazing. Anywho, so I pulled this ball python out, put it on top, pet it a little bit, and I can tell it's getting angry. And on top of the cage, it struck at my shirt. It wasn't happy. And I was like, well, gotta put it back. And my mom was like, you're so brave. And I'm like, yeah. Oh. And the keeper of these two animals, because it was the same table at Repticon, they were like, wow, I didn't even have to tell you what to do. I'm like, yeah, I've been around these guys a lot. So, yeah. I've also had tarantulas, anoles, which I've talked about. Hamsters, guinea pigs, dogs, rabbits, cats. Well, one rabbit for like 5 hours. I had a couple turtles once. That was fun. But, I'm going to save all the names for those pets in another video. So we're going to do all my previous pets video. And I'm going to gather all my thoughts from what I remember to make sure I include all my pets. But I thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed hearing hearing my bite stories. Oh yeah, by the way, one of the bites from Stapleton did leave like a small scrape on my skin, but it was like a small scrape. So yeah. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Wow, 25 minutes. Okay, peace out for real, you guys.